Alright, I got the new filter in, but and I got the top bolt on too. But I hadn't got the bottom one on yet. But I got it in there, and I got the top bolt back on. So now I gotta go underneath there and put that bottom one back on, and we'll be through. Well, I finally got that bottom bolt right there back on after a long ordeal. It didn't want to go back in quite as easily as it came out. I just unscrewed it with my hand once I got it loose when it came out, but then going back in, it didn't want to go in as easily, so I had to do it with the wrench. That's a 14mm bolt, by the way, and just done it with a wrench. And but I only could I don't have a whole lot of room here, so can only get about a half a turn at the time, maybe even a quarter of a turn, and so it took forever to get that back on there, but I finally got that back on, and hopefully it won't leak when I start it up. So now I got to put everything back together and see if it works. Putting the air cleaner back on. I just got to put the filter in it, put the top on it, connect it to the intake pipe, and then plug in that plug to the sensor, and that's all we'll have to do. And then plug the negative battery cable back in there, and put the fuel filter relay back in the slot. So after we get all that done, I'll try it out and see if it's going to crank. Well, everything's back together, and so now it's time to crank it up and see if it's going to mainly see if it's going to leak. Surely it'll crank up. May have to give it a little while for the fuel to get in the line there. Oh yeah, running good. Now let's see if it's leaking. I don't know. Looks kind of wet. I really hope that's not leaking. Well, the bottom one looks okay. I don't know about this top one. It was definitely leaking, but I don't know why. I got the copper washers on either side of the bolt, just like it's supposed to be. I had it tightened as tight as I could get it, and it was still leaking, so I took it all back apart again, put it back together, and I was trying to see if it would leak now, but it won't stay running without that air cleaner hooked up. You get that going on, so you can't run it enough to really tell if it's leaking or not. until you put all this stuff back on. Well, it's back together, and it's not leaking as far as I can tell. I don't see any leaks. I must maybe I didn't have it seated in there right or something on the first time. I don't know, but it don't seem like it's leaking now, so I'm just gonna let it go with that and call it a success.